Lucia welcomes this opportunity for training and collaboration in fisheries, as most of you would be like us with decreased fish landings over the years, and with the prediction that global warming will continue and even get more severe. It has been noted that some of our marine life are depleted, or maybe they migrate from the Caribbean waters to further north where the waters may be cooler. This movement has tremendously impacted the livelihoods of our fisherfolk, and as well as social and economic lives of residents in fishing communities who depend on the fish. Fishing itself is a major source of protein for St. Lucians, and with the increasing concern of food security, we have to ensure that this form of protein is readily available to our people to avoid any form of protein deficiency, as some people, whether for health, religion, or otherwise, would avoid the consumption of other forms of animal protein. For us in St. Lucia and the Caribbean islands, fishing is important for economic livelihoods, as numerous factors impact the other forms of traditional agriculture. And you may, all or most of you, be aware of what is the status of our bananas in St. Lucia and other pests and diseases, and even the climatic conditions that affect our agriculture, so our traditional farmers may resort to fishing to sustain their families. Again, I welcome you to this leadership training workshop. I trust that all of you are excited about the week's program so that you can continue to devise ways to ensure that our countries survive amongst all the challenges experienced. That we can share strategies, as it would appear that some countries are doing better than others. For example, with our neighbors, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and even Grenada, that's not too far away, records have shown that those two countries have much higher fish landings than St. Lucia. So it means that there's a strategy that they're using that we have not yet tried, and so it would be important for us to learn what those countries are doing so we too can see improved or get better success in our fish landings in St. Lucia. In St. Lucia, not only have we focused directly on fishing, but we have over the past 2 years, increased the fishery budget to contribute to the development of the sector in various forms of mariculture, value-added, capacity building, and certification. To our guests, whether it is your first visit or not, we welcome you to this beautiful island. St. Lucia has over 10 fishing districts, and there are a lot of fishing activities happening throughout the evenings. So find a little time for some fun, because St. Lucia is really, really small. You can probably use it as part of your training that you want to see what the fish landing sites are like, and you want to do it on evenings too. So everyone, welcome to this training activity. I trust that you will take back a lot from each other. You will share openly with each other, and that by the time you return home, that our fisheries sectors, both in St. Lucia and in your home countries, can see tremendous improvements. So have a very productive week, and good luck with your workshop here today.
Thank you, Mrs. Monrose. Thanks again for giving us this warm welcome, and also indicating the importance of fisheries to St. Lucia. And also, what is very interesting in your capacity throw out this challenge to us, particularly when you made reference to the fish catches in reference to our neighbors. At this time, we would like to call upon Mr. Thor, the Deputy Program Director, United Nations University for Fisheries Training.
The United Nations University Fisheries Training Program that I represent here is a knowledge-sharing entity. We strive for capacity building in our partner countries, and we try to bring together people of various part of the fishing sector to come to the table to do something new. We started cooperation with the Caribbean region in 2006 on my trip here to Guyana, and I immediately realized that there are many things that this region has in common with Iceland. This is an island community, and Iceland is an island of 330,000, and fisheries is of great importance to Iceland. And as many of you realize, that the economic challenges that are facing many of the European countries today, Iceland was one of the first to be hit by this incident. And I can say for sure that fisheries has played a major role in bringing us back on our feet economically. Working with the Caribbean region through CRFM has been a great pleasure. Today, we have trained in Iceland 13 fisheries professionals through our 6-month training program. Of those 13, 10 are women, and I'm extremely pleased to see that. We have a gender policy, and I was making a joke this morning, maybe we should focus more on men in the region. But having said that, I realized that women are very important in the fisheries all over the world. And through the courses that I have taken part in here in the Caribbean, those courses have been mainly dominated by men. So I think we are on the right track here with the women from the region. 13 fisheries professionals have been trained, and 4 courses have been held. This is the 5th course. And through an MOU with CRFM, I hope that we will continue this good cooperation in fisheries development. We try to link together different players, different stakeholders in fisheries. And this is quite evident in our work on short course development. And over those years, we have had a great relationship with the University of West Indies. And as we can see today, the University of Belize has been our partner in this course. When I met at that time the Deputy Director of CRFM, Mr. Milton Haughton, we very soon discussed the needs of the region, as I was informed that the role of the CRFM was to identify and help out in covering and filling the gaps in fisheries in the nations. We soon realized that leadership in fisheries could be missing in some of the countries, and it was clear to me that CRFM was determined to work on that issues. And so I'm extremely pleased to be here today and witness the 2nd run of this leadership course in fisheries and be part of that. The cooperation we have had with the CRFM has been extremely fruitful, and I can assure you that the United Nations University Fisheries Training Program is very happy with that relationship. And we have also had a very good relationship with the lecturers and professors from the University of Belize, and I'm hoping that with this course and the course material that has been developed associated with the first leadership course and this one also, the course material will continue to live in the region with the help of CRFM and the staff of the University of Belize, and fisheries people. They can access that material through the education that the University of Belize can offer. I would like to express my thanks to the people who are involved in this course, and from the University of Belize, Charlotte Yearwood and Bernard Watler. And I'm also very grateful to our colleagues in Akureyri, which is the capital of Northern Iceland, from the University of Akureyri, Ögmundur Knútsson and Ársæll Arnarsson, who are here today and will work with you throughout this week. I'm very grateful to the warm reception of the Department of Fisheries in St. Lucia. Without their help, this would not have been possible, and I sincerely hope that this week will be fruitful for all of us here in this room. Thank you very much.
At this time, we would like to welcome Mr. Milton Haughton, the Executive Director of the CRFM, to the podium.
I bring you greetings and well wishes from the management and the staff of the CRFM. I extend a very warm welcome to all of you here today from across the Caribbean region. A special welcome to the Chief Fisheries Officers, Directors of Fisheries, Senior Fisheries Officers, and Fisheries Officers from the CRFM member states. I would like to express our sincere appreciation and gratitude to the government of St. Lucia, not only for so graciously agreeing to host this workshop in this very beautiful settings, but also for generously assisting with the logistical arrangements for this workshop. This workshop marks another significant milestone in our collaborative relationship with the United Nations University Fisheries Training Program. Less than a year ago, we had a similar training workshop right here in St. Lucia on the subject of project cycle management. 3 fellows just returned to the region from the United Nations University in Iceland only a few weeks ago, after successfully completing their 6-month training in different aspects of fisheries offered by the United Nations University. We had a candidate from Antigua and Barbuda, one from Haiti, and one from St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and they were all female. 2 additional persons are now in the final stages of preparing to commence training in September of this year, and they too are female. We are indeed very grateful for the funding and the technical assistance that the government of Iceland and the United Nations University Fisheries Training Program have so generously provided for this workshop, as well as for the other human resource development initiatives from which we have benefited over the past 6 years. Mr. Chairman, the United Nations University Fisheries Training Program is indeed a very important development partner in the region, providing vital support for human resource development towards sustainable use and management of the fisheries and aquaculture resources available to us. We cherish this relationship, and we look forward to strengthening our collaboration with Iceland and with the UNU FTP in the coming years. Our countries are surrounded by waters from which we derive many economic and social benefits. Today, however, in most countries, we continue to fight against poverty, food insecurity, unemployment, underdevelopment, inequality in the distribution of wealth, escalating crime, among other social ills. Ladies and gentlemen, in my humble opinion, the living marine resources in the waters around us offer significant opportunities to realize our goal of reducing poverty, achieving food and nutrition security, providing meaningful employment prospects for marginalized and vulnerable young men, and revitalizing rural and coastal communities by creating vibrant, sustainable economic activities based on the natural resources. The time has come when we as a region must give more serious attention to the opportunities available in the vast marine space around us. We must give more serious attention to the resources within this vast area, comprising more than 80% of the area available to us for development. That is the area under our sovereignty or jurisdiction. We cannot continue to focus our development policies on the opportunities within the less than 20% of land area that's available to us, and continue to pay only scant regard to the potential of this vast maritime space. We have to give more attention to it. As we contemplate the future that we would like to leave for our children in the next 50 to 100 years, we envision a future in which our people and countries are economically independent, self-reliant, peaceful, prosperous, internationally competitive, and fully integrated into the global economy. We see a future where we have the human and institutional capacity, the technology and knowledge to utilize and manage the marine resources available to us, and where we are all working together in such a manner that these resources are making optimum sustainable contribution to the social and economic development of our people. In order to realize the full potential from the seas and the oceans, we must overcome a number of binding constraints and threats, such as those posed by global warming and sea level rise, marine pollution, habitat degradation, overfishing, inadequate human and institutional capacity, and weak governance arrangements for our marine resources. Weak and effective governance of the world fisheries has led to the widespread degradation and depletion of the natural resources in many parts of the world, resulting in greater poverty among fishing communities, as well as declining food security, and in general, in suboptimal use of the marine resources. Weak policies and institutional arrangements and ineffective legal frameworks, combined with lack of sectorial strategy, have been widely acknowledged as being fundamental obstacles to effective fisheries development and management, and therefore to poverty alleviation and food security. Ineffective governance has also resulted in high incidence of illegal, unreported, and unregulated fishing, thus depriving countries of substantial economic revenues from the fisheries resources. Commentators in the region have often observed that Caribbean development has suffered from a serious leadership deficit. Our inability to surmount and find creative and innovative solutions to the challenges and problems facing us, and the persistent lackluster performance in many areas of social and economic endeavors are often cited as evidence of this lack of coherent, competent, and dynamic leadership. Peter Drucker famously stated that management is doing things right, but leadership is doing the right thing. And for some reason, we seem not to be able to do the right thing at the right time. The overall objective of this leadership training initiative is to enhance the contribution of fisheries to the social and economic development of the countries of the region, and achieve better quality of life and standards of living for fisherfolk and coastal communities through sustainable development, effective management, and conservation of the fisheries resource systems of the region. Specific objective is that senior fisheries officers develop new core leadership knowledge and skills, and where appropriate, renew and update their existing expertise to provide leadership in their national fisheries administrations and in the development and management of the fisheries and aquaculture sector in the region. Participants at this workshop will be taught the skills and endowed with the confidence to lead their organizations through a process of change towards greater excellence and performance well beyond present levels. Participants will be empowered to more effectively lead the process of repositioning and transforming the fisheries and aquaculture sector into a more dynamic, diversified, and vibrant sector capable of greater contribution to the region's social and economic development. Indeed, a very important priority area of work of the CRFM is human resource development and institutional capacity building to improve data collection and research, planning, governance, management, and conservation of fisheries and the marine ecosystems generally. Achieving sustainable development, achieving economic growth and prosperity in our countries, and success in our organizations depend to a great degree on the extent to which we recognize the central role of our people in the development process. Our future lies in our ability to develop and use the knowledge, skills, and mental capacities of our people to make informed decisions and work together in harmony with a common vision towards achieving our common objectives in an increasingly competitive global environment. But it is clear that we do not have the critical mass of leaders and managers needed to achieve our development objectives in respect of fisheries and marine resources. The issues and challenges in fisheries are indeed varied, complex, and always changing, and require dynamic leadership and creative, innovative, and systematic application of knowledge, experience, and new mental models and mindsets to move towards and build a brighter and more prosperous future for our children. We must work to improve governance, productivity, and greater level of performance and outputs. We cannot avoid investing in building a capable, committed, and motivated team of leaders at all levels in national and regional fisheries administrations. Leaders who will think outside of the box and create the environment where stakeholders can work together with purpose, passion, and motivation towards achieving common objectives. It's for this reason that this advanced leadership training workshop here today is, in my opinion, so important and so timely. I hope that you will have a very fruitful week of discussion and debate and learning. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much, and I wish you very good success in the coming days as we delve into the subject of leadership development in the Caribbean. Thank you.
At this point, I would like to call upon the Honorable Minister, Honorable Moses Baptiste, to address you.
I want at this moment to say thanks to the CRFM, to Mr. Haughton, thanks to all of the partners, the United Nations University Fisheries Training Program, UNUFTP, the University of Akureyri in Iceland, the University of Belize, and also to the government of Iceland for providing the funding. I thank you because this remarkable effort that seeks to build the capacity of leaders within the various fisheries authorities in the region is extremely important. It's important because advanced leadership training is essential to the building blocks of the fisheries departments in the various regions. And it's essential because we are recognizing slowly, after many, many years of warnings, that the productive sectors in our region that rely on natural resources may be the ones to save us from the economic crisis and the financial crises that we've faced over the last few years. I'm aware that a similar advanced leadership training workshop was held in 2010 in Belize. I wish that some time will be found throughout this workshop to assess the successes of this particular workshop and to see whether we have started the transformation of our various organizations around the region. Currently, a number of senior staff members within the fisheries departments or divisions around the region have either retired or are approaching retirement. That too is a very important consideration when we are planning workshops such as these, because we know that we need a cadre of senior managers that are adequately trained and who will be well equipped with the capacity to assume the much needed leadership roles that are required for the future. This is critical at this juncture. A wide array of challenges face us every day, and as I've said before, the challenges are even more severe when we consider the financial and economic crises that are being faced today. The issues that confront the fisheries subsector transcend our local borders, as we know. They cut across all sectors: social, economic, environmental, institutional. As such, the preparation of our leadership is key. Some of the challenges you know already: global warming, sea level rise, increased fishing pressure on an ever-limited fisheries resource. And we know some of them that impact the environment. The use of illegal, unreported, and unregulated fishing. The invasive alien species. And I am sure many of you know about the infamous one, the lionfish. I don't know for you, but in St. Lucia, we are starting to eat them, fry them, roast them. Mrs. Peter and company, those in the Department of Fisheries in St. Lucia, caused me to eat the lionfish. Very tasty. And you know the story of the lionfish. So you know of all these challenges, all the challenges that face us. I must point out that many of the problems that impact fisheries at the national level are similar all across the region. Recent reports of reduced landings in some coastal and ocean pelagic fisheries across the region is important. Low landings of the flying fish is also important. To know these things, I am sure just the knowledge of it causes concern right across the region, because you know how it impacts, as Mr. Haughton said a while ago, you know the impact of that on livelihoods and also on the economic dynamics in our region. It is worth noting that the challenges that confront us are not only physical, but they are mainly organizational, because the fisher folk depend on our organizations to guide them, to give them the technical support, and to ensure that their livelihoods are secure. We must ensure that this advanced training workshop, as timely as it is, we must ensure that it builds capacity. We must ensure that it builds awareness. And we must ensure that the overall goal will be to help our fisher folk increase landings, but also to help them to gain confidence and to cause the value added that is required in the subsector. As Minister responsible for fisheries in St. Lucia, I would like to see an enhancement of the contribution of fisheries to the social and economic development of St. Lucia, and by extension the other countries in the region. It is also important that we connect it to a better quality of life for our people. Although such goals can be achieved through sustainable development, management and conservation of the fisheries resource systems, our leaders must take charge. As leaders within the fisheries subsector, we must be mindful that while we cannot do it alone, we need the support of each other, but also the support of our governments. We are sure that you will be equipped with the necessary knowledge and skill set. We are sure that you will be equipped with the skill set that will cause you to involve our stakeholders. And we are sure that as you return to your various jurisdictions, you will be ready to ensure that we cause those things to happen. Co-management, as we know, is not a cure-all. In these small-scale artisanal fisheries, we know that this logical approach to continuous problem solving, we need continuous sharpening of our tools, and we need continuous encouragement. In St. Lucia, we have already demonstrated a willingness to devolve power and to engage in meaningful co-management of our coastal marine resources. There are a few projects that involve participatory management strategies and community-based management of our coral reefs, our sea urchins, sea moss, and mangroves. There are a few successes, and I'm sure we can build upon them right here in St. Lucia, and I know you too have your own story of successes. A few examples are the development of a fisheries policy for St. Lucia under the ACP Fish 2 project. This policy seeks to provide overall plans and strategic direction for the development and management of the fisheries sector on the island. An ACP-funded project that was commissioned to develop the business acumen and to build the capacity of fisher cooperatives around the island to better manage their investments and thereby improving their socio-economic conditions. Again, under the ACP Fish 2 project, the Department of Fisheries will be undertaking the development of a fisheries enforcement toolkit to build awareness of legal instruments that are geared towards effective management of the fisheries sector. The primary target groups for the use of this toolkit will be authorized fisheries enforcement officers and the judiciary. A project for the enhancement of business opportunities in marine aquaculture in St. Lucia is another one. It seeks to develop the business opportunities for the marine aquaculture industry on the island by enhancing the private sector potential for a diversified, economically viable marine aquaculture industry. Such a project will also help to support one of the primary strategic priorities of the government, which is to achieve competitiveness, stimulate sustainable growth, and create a diversity of job opportunities, particularly in the rural areas. In light of all of this, and in light of the urgent need to address them, I would like to urge you leaders, all of us, to create direction for fisheries organizations and for the fisheries subsector at large. I would like to urge you, the leaders, to serve as examples for all. I want to urge leaders to be effective, to communicate our goals, to communicate the vision and our objectives. I would like to urge you leaders, let's get the best of our people. Let's act as change agents. And let us handle the crises that confront us with agility and with courage. And according to articlebase.com, effective leadership is the pillar for nation building. So let effective leadership be the pillar for the fisheries sector in the region.